take it off.
That's up to you.
Becky, I didn't get that right in project.
That's a you issue. That's an issue, not an issue me.
That's presentation.
Yeah. Being summoned over here.
That's not how it works.
Oh, yes.
Now call the top hands down. And the other one you got. And the other one.
Tell them I'll take a bath.
Subtitles. Turn on subtitles.
No, she changed it.
They changed her picture.
It's way better.
You would have applied that.
Way back to football.
All right, we're gonna get started. There's gonna be a few people coming in late, and that's just life. So I just want to welcome you all to the end of year student showcase. Today you're going to be hearing from our students who worked really hard to research, write, and prepare presentations on topics that mattered to them. This project's more than an assignment, it's just a chance for the students to step into the spotlight and share what they've learned. So they have written, revised, practiced, thrown out whole projects, restarted, all of this to prepare for today. And this is all designed to help students grow as confident communicators, to share what they've learned in meaningful ways, and to just reflect on the effort that they've put into this year. Today is kind of a celebration of all of that. So why do we do this? We want to practice speaking with clarity and confidence. No matter what kids do, they will need to know how to present. This is something that kids don't always get a chance to do, and even in my online teaching, I'm constantly finding new ways for my students to present well. We want to share the ideas and everything with others because it shows what we have learned, and if you are able to present it to somebody else, that's when you really own that knowledge, and that matters. And then we're going to celebrate hard work and personal growth. So what to expect? We're going to start with we're going to have short individual presentations. You're going to see a range of topics, some are based on geography, some are completely creative, some have kind of gone off their own, like they've started with one thing and they've just evolved into different things. Some will read directly from their work, and others may speak more freely. Either way, we're here to support them. We want our presenters, and I am not usually the kind of person that reads like this, but I gotta be honest, as I was going through and just reflecting on what the kids have learned, I've kind of been a little ball of crying today. These guys have grown up so much. They've changed so much. I can't believe that this year is coming to a close, and I'm not ready for it to end. I never thought that in a million years I'd be like, ooh, summer's way too close. But yeah, we want our presenters to be encouraged, and I want you just to listen, clap after each presentation, give kind feedback if invited, get ready to ask questions after the presentations. And if they don't know an answer, if you know it, you can kind of guide them in it, but encourage them to figure it out later. Encourage them to, when they leave, hey, you could research that. That's kind of what learning is. And I'm just going to quick tell you about our messy learning. If you can tell, this is not quite quite your traditional classroom. Our room is messy. This is only one of the many slimes that have been born in this classroom. It has,
I used pizza dough, but.
no, that is slime.
Yeah, we're just having.
Yeah, and there's another one over there too that's just as big. But in the spring, my mind always turns to gardening. And when I was getting started getting this school built, I just kept hearing the same message kind of on my heart, just bloom where you're planted. A couple years ago, as my kids were growing up, we were driving in into Sioux Falls all the time. It was great, but it's not really where my heart was. I wanted something here, so we've been trying to build something that helps homeschool kids bloom exactly where they're planted, using what we have available to us. But that simple phrase just kind of became a theme for me. It reminded me to trust where God had placed me, to dig in, to be faithful, and nurture what was in front of me. And now looking back on this year, I see how true that message was. So, to gently annoy my students, and to give them something to roll their eyes at just a little, I gave each one of them a gardening-themed title when I introduced them. Something playful, but something that reflects their unique gifts and the roles that they've played in our little community. Because this group became something really special, and it was something way more than I ever planned. Huh?
Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this.
And the truth is, each of you were necessary for what's happened here this year. Each of you needed to be here to make this what it was. So our growth here is rarely neat and clean. This is actually a picture I snapped, but this is actually a cleaner day. It sometimes comes in here and it looks like the arts and crafts have exploded all over the room. It's just not neat. This is what real learning looks like, though. It's not perfect, it's not polished, but it's really real and it's really genuine. So this is the middle of the story, right? This is where mistakes are made. This is the middle of their story. And ideas are tested, where hearts and minds are grown, and even if it doesn't look perfect from the outside, it's growing something inside. So our first presenter is going to be Logan. Logan is a student who continues to grow in his confidence and independence. While he's often been hesitant to begin tasks on his own, Logan has made meaningful strides this semester. A breakthrough moment came when he discovered he could write, despite initially believing he couldn't. This opened the door for deeper engagement in his learning. Logan drew the entire United States by hand and chose to research Texas. I'll turn this off in a minute so you can see his map. He chose to research Texas, which sparked a genuine curiosity about the Alamo and its history. His creativity and developing perseverance are just beginning to shine, and it will continue with encouragement. He has the potential to keep growing in amazing ways, even when I annoy him by pushing him further. I was telling him today that I was kind of going back and reflecting on this year, and in about 40 out of my 60 journal entries, it's always in there, today I made Logan mad. Right? Uh-huh. But I gotta tell you, I've also seen Logan grow quite a bit this year. From somebody who didn't do writing, who didn't want to do projects, who didn't do art, into somebody completely different. And I'm just really proud of that. And I'm proud of you, Logan. So let's give Logan a round of applause as he comes up here. And you talk a little bit about your project.
All right, so we'll start off with my paper and then talk about this.
Sure.
All right. I learned all kinds of things here with my classmates, starting with the Bible. I had lots of interest with it, The part of Moses was my most particular and personal to me, and my favorite part. And my most interest part was also the 10 plagues. Then writing was the most challenging for me, and geography was the easiest. Then throughout the school year, I had days where I would push myself to do better. I learned that challenges are good for learning and life necessities, as well as loss, noise, worrying, and helping others. So this year, I learned that helping others is not good all the time. You need to let other people do their own things so they can get the right life necessities to, well, survive in life when they become adults and other things. And then there are my hobbies, are having fun with my video game setup and helping around town, which is there's a person on my block that I help mow his lawn, and I also do a couple other small jobs. And then I also help that person on the block actually this week to help with carrying dirt bags from their car to their lawn. Then finally, I'm looking forward to next year and what fun, challenges, and lessons I encounter, and hoping it will be a lot quieter next year, so I hope you enjoy my presentation. Which one should I talk about first?
Whichever one you want.
Alright, the first one I like to talk about is honestly the Texas map. It took me a little while. When I started this, I had quite a bit of trouble how I was going to start this. I kind of took practically the first week just trying to figure out what to do. And I decided just to go with this. To go with a little bit bigger version of the map. Showing important towns, rivers, and the capital and, well, everything that you can think of. To rivers, mountains, towns, and, well, yeah. Then to make it a little more immersive, to show where it is, I made sure to show other kinds of states around the area of New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mexico, and if you would look under this, you see Gulf of Mexico. And then I'd like to talk about my Alamo. The Alamo was a fight for Texas freedom from the Mexicans. It was a small battle on a fort. The Mexican army was coming in to destroy this fort to stop the Texans. Give me one. The reason why all of this happened is because most Texans actually came from the United States. So they are used to a lot more rights in Texas. But Mexico did not like that. There was multiple things that the Mexicans and Texans disagreed with. So eventually it started a little, very small war. And one of these important battles was the Alamo, small little fort. This fort was a completely losing battle for the Texans. There was about, I think, I'm trying to remember, roughly maybe 1,000 men, I think around.
I don't remember. You have the notes somewhere.
Yeah, I kind of lost the notes somewhere. I'm just trying to remember. And then I think there was about maybe 10 or 20,000 Mexicans coming to this fort. So it was an obvious losing battle. There were only the townspeople in there, and then including a couple of Texan soldiers. which weren't trained at all. They were just townsfolk that took up rifles in the name of freedom for Texas. And in this battle, there were two important people, Travis and, forgot the other person's name, but it was Brown something. Travis ended up dying on the front line as they were coming up a mountain part, which would have been right here on the top part of the Alamo. And then he died in his bed defending himself with a pistol in his own quarters, because he was actually already couldn't really take command very well, because he had a sickness that was going on, which is actually still not known today. Then after the battle, after the Mexicans won and the Texans lost, a couple people went to the UF, a couple other towns, and as the Mexican army was charging through a field to go to other towns to stop this little rebellion, they suddenly came upon a massive army of Texans coming straight towards them. This battle lasted very short. It only lasted 18 minutes. The leader of the Mexican army was killed, and most of them were either killed or captured. So many of them were screaming for the Alamo because they heard about the bravery of the Alamo, and they decided to take up arms in number because of the loss and the bravery of this people in this fort. And all thanks to this, Texas was liberated practically right on after this. Okay.
So Logan did have notes somewhere, but as things happen in here, things get lost quite a bit. And here is just a couple pictures of Logan playing one of our card games that we've played. I don't know if you guys remember that. First time holding a baby chick. And when we went and toured City Hall. So Jocelyn went branching out with boldness was her little title. She's grown into a leader this year. She attended Teen Pact for her 5th year and returned even more excited and empowered. Before she went, she helped to teach her classmates how to write a bill, something she now understands really well with confidence. And whenever somebody doesn't like something in here, they always want to write a bill about it. Oliver is the king of writing bills. Over Christmas break, we went to Arizona, and the experience inspired her to choose that state for her research project. And one of the most exciting things to watch is this year, Jocelyn, like years before, she was just kind of like, oh, school, whatever. This year, she's decided that she wants to do hard things, and she's really challenging herself. And I love, that's why I do this. That's why I teach. Because once they decide that they are going to own their learning, that's when it becomes fantastic. She's beginning to explore what that might look like in her learning next year. And we are excited to see where that courage and curiosity take her. So Jocelyn, you come up.
Okay. Hello. So, I think you're being my paper first. Or my
Sure.
paper.
I'll go ahead and pull your.
Sorry if this gets too long. I like to yap. So, this is my end of year reflection paper. So, hello, my name is Jocelyn. I am 16 years old. And this is my first year at Del Rapids Coastal Christian Academy, or DRCHA. This year has been full of learning, mistakes, emotions, growth, and faith. This school has pushed me out of my comfort zone, pushed my learning, and created great memories that will last a lifetime. I've been assigned to tell you how this year went, so I hope you enjoy my little spiel. In this school, we were taught geography, writing, everyday news, and many other things. My favorite subjects have to be geography and writing. I love making maps, which I made one right here, and then creating fun stories. We also got to watch World Watch every day, which informed us about news all over the world. We got to go on a few fun field trips to the library, the city hall, the chateau, and the coffee house. A few of us also had the opportunity to go to TPAC in our state capital here. I was able to run for senator and make many good friends, along with learning more about my government. So, as humans, we face a lot of challenges, and we definitely have as well in our school. I struggle with dyslexia and a few other learning disabilities, so work in general has been a big challenge for me. I don't like doing it. I learned that in quiet environments, that's how I get a lot done. So that's what I try to do a lot. If things get too much, I will go to Bethlehem, or I'll listen to music. I have also struggled with a lot of public speaking skills. I've always been terrified at the thought of going up in front of people to speak about what I believe. And this year, since I went to TPAC and I ran for senator, I was definitely pushed out of my comfort zone. I didn't get senator, but I'm still happy I ran. I learned a lot from that. This year has also been a lot of great memories. The first day we came here was a great memory when I got to meet everyone. When we made the baddie friend group. When we did our first round of dodgeball ball. The first time we played volleyball together. And our fun field trips where we got off the topic way too much. The times we would go to nursing homes to sing, and even when we had funny classroom conversations with each other. Of course, there are many bad ones too, like the time I scraped my hand while playing dodgeball and I still have scars like this, and the days where we all just want to go home and sleep. But I love to look back on these memories. This year has been a great year to remember, and I'm so happy I got to meet new people and create great memories. I'm so grateful to be able to learn with you all, and I'm excited to see what comes next. Thank you to everyone who made my mom's dreams come true, and thank you to my mom who had to deal with all of our bickering every day. Thank you again for everyone else for coming, and I hope you have a great rest of your time here. And then, okay, so now I'm talking about Arizona. That's my state project. So Arizona slogan. What's the word?
I don't know what you're saying.
Slogan is get it dues, which means God it reaches. It's also known as the Grand Canyon State, and there's their state seal and their state quarter. So, Arizona is a state located in the southwestern part of the United States. It has a total area of 113,998 square miles, and is the 6th largest state in the U.S. The state is known for its diverse landscapes, deserts, mountains, and forests. Arizona has a lot of rich history and culture, with Native American tribes having lived in the land for many years. The state is also home to many famous attractions, such as the Grand Canyon. These are some pictures I took when we went to Arizona. Okay, Arizona is part of the Four Corners, which is the only place in the United States where the boundaries of 4 states meet: Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. Arizona's state bird is the cactus wren, and Arizona state flower blooms from this I still can't pronounce that. Saguaro cactus. Arizona's state gemstone is turquoise, which is one of the oldest gemstones in the world. And here's my long timeline. So, 750 AD, the old Orowe is the earliest settlement in Arizona. These inhabitants are known for introducing a lot of agriculture and architecture to Arizona. In 1539 through 1821, Fray Marcos de Niza first led the expedition of southern Arizona. In the later years, copper, silver, and gold mining attracted more settlers. In 1810, conflicts which arose between the Mexican and Spanish colonists as the Mexicans sought independence from Spain. In 1821, the Treaty of Cordoba was signed. In 1824, southern Arizona became part of the state of, I think so, Occident. During this time, Arizona's first constitution was written. This established the rights of citizens, formed a 3-branch government, and made Roman Catholicism the state's official religion. In 1848, the U.S. Congress declared war on Mexico. At the end of the Mexican-American War, which was in 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed, giving the U.S. more territories. In 1853, the Gadsden Purchase expanded the original boundaries to include southern portion of Arizona. In the 1870s, this time was a lot of agriculture. Early immigrants settled along the Arizona waters and paved way for commercial farming. 1910 to 1911, the Arizona Constitution was drafted and signed by the Constitutional Convention of the Territory of Arizona in 1910. However, it was vetoed by President Taft. The draft was amended, ratified, and finally approved in December of 1911. In 1905 through 1911, the Roosevelt Dam was constructed between 1905 to 1911 by the Blue Road of Reclamation. This dam is essential to help control the flow of the Salt River for irrigation and flooding. On February 14, 1912, President Taft proclaimed Arizona as the 40th state. In 1990, the Grand Canyon becomes part of the United States Park System. The Grand Canyon covers more than 270 miles of Arizona's northern territory. The Spanish first explored the Grand Canyon in the 1540s. 1922, the Colorado River Compact recognized the need for water, allowing location in the 7 states, including Arizona. This allowed rights to 7.5 million acre-feet of the Colorado River each year. Following the impact of the construction of the River Dam, which allowed 2.8 million acre-feet of water per year to Arizona. Later, the Arizona versus California Supreme Court changed the water basin each could receive. In 2005, since the adoption of the Arizona Constitution in 1911, it has been amended 115 times as of 2024. The last approved amendment to Arizona's Constitution was in November of 2024. Now the Constitution has 30 articles. And here are some fun facts. Arizona has the largest percentage of land dedicated to American Indians. There are 22 tribes, the largest being the Navajo Nation. Stones from the Lunge Bridge in England were shipped to Lake Havasu City, Arizona, where the bridge was reconstructed in 1971. Arizona is the only state in the country that does not participate in daylight savings time. Arizona is divided into 15 counties, with the 4 oldest being the Bohat, Pima, Yavapai, I think, and Yuma County. Arizona has 22 national parks and monuments, making it 3rd place for the most behind California and Alaska. Arizona's largest county by population is Napa, with 66,290 residents over 2022. And these are some pictures we took when we went to Arizona. That was at Krispy Kreme. In and out. Those are my cousins, and that's our family. And we went to the Phoenix Zoo. And it was also my first time ever on an airplane. And then one of the fun things we were able to do was visit the Grand Canyon for the day. Here are some cool facts about the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon has its own weather because of its elevation. It is actually not the deepest canyon in the world. The Yarling-Tanku Canyon holds the record. And Grand Canyon State Park is bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island. And then I hope you enjoyed my presentation about the Grand Canyon State. Thank you for listening. Yeah, for a bit.
And then here's just a couple pictures of Jocelyn painting and then going to the coffee shop, which is our favorite place. I'm not just saying that because you guys are here either. So Kristen is not able to make it here tonight, but I had given her the title of a gentle gardener. She studied all about the human body and how it works. She built a model of the body and then taught others how to make it as well. It was a cute little doll-looking thing. She helped Isaac learn how to tie his shoes. And she's just a natural, kind, and patient teacher. Her impact on our class has been felt all year long. She chose to dive deep and study just very, very much on the human body. And Kristen's curiosity and kindness just made her a positive force in our classroom. She's truly grown as both a learner and a leader. There are some pictures of Kristen, that's her little guy she made with joints and everything. She just felt and glued it together. And there she is teaching Isaac how to tie his shoes. Now, we have Henry. And I'm gonna do both Henry and Malcolm together because they're gonna present their presentation together. So Henry he is hands in the dirt. Because he worked on wiring the rocket, but it's still in progress. He's constantly tinkering and improving designs. He is the Gaga Ball champ and slang translator. I should just read this, what I wrote. This year he spent a lot of time problem solving and experimenting with a rocket project, rewiring, wiring, and adjusting it until it works. It hasn't flown yet, but that's just a part of the process, and Henry is determined to figure it out. He's a natural tinkerer who loves a good challenge and has a real knack for making things work better. Outside of projects, you'll often find him dominating at Gaga Ball or translating the latest slang, because if you're confused, Henry's the guy. Don't worry, I won't play this video, I thought about it, but this is Henry and Malcolm discussing the rocket. Don't worry, I didn't hook up my speaker, but it's hilarious. I'm so glad I have it forever. But I'm so glad I have it forever, and I can't wait to play it someday in the future. Oh wait, okay.
So sad, bro. So sad.
So here's Malcolm, growing strong and steady. Where did he go? He was in here. Well,
I was in there.
you were.
Oh boy.
Well,
Look at that.
Malcolm has grown very strong at defending his ideas. Very strong at defending his ideas. He juggles going to school for music, or going to the school for music, and then comes back and he gets his classwork done sometimes. Not all the time. He has spent a lot of time researching rivers in South Dakota geography, and he has collaborated on the rocket project with Henry. He is the mayor of Sigma City. And our city is a project that we kind of been doing to learn about the government. Each of the students has a role. We have some elected officials. Some of the elections happen just because nobody else wanted to do it. But that happens in real life, right, Tom?
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Here's just a few pictures of Malcolm. Oops, okay. That is not even of your face.
It's the one she wanted. It's from Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Don't change it. All right, and they are going to present on a comparison and contrast between the White and Missouri rivers.
The White River, Makizata Wakpa.
The White River is a tributary of the Missouri River in the Badlands of Nebraska. It gets its name from the white sediment it picks up around the Badlands and gives it a muddy white color. The White River flows the length of 580 miles through Nebraska and South Dakota. It was formed in the Paleogene period due to erosion and tectonic plates shifting.
In 2004, the White River was put down on the 303rd list of impaired water bodies in South Dakota for exceeding standards of water quality for total suspended solids and coliform bacteria. Parts of the river have been listed as having impaired water quality for E. coli and an elevated sodium absorption rate. The dull white sediment which gives the river its name becomes a pollutant when present in large quantities. High amounts of suspended solids in water used for irrigation presents a problem with sediment loads wearing out equipment. Sediment buildup can also cause flooding, damage aquatic plant life, and harm the livelihood of fish.
Flora and fauna. The banks of the White River host a variety of species, one such as the painted turtle. The painted turtle grows from about 15 to 23 centimeters long, and the females are slightly larger than the male. One plant that grows near the White River is the eastern cottonwood, and it has gray-white bark and rapidly grows about 6 feet in year.
Sorry.
The White River in South Dakota formed through a mix of glacial activity and geological processes, mostly erosion and weathering, over millions of years, so they say. The river's name reflects the dirty white water caused by floating sediment like clay, sand, and volcanic ash. Most of the White River's plentiful sediment ends up being dumped in the Lake Francis Case, a large reservoir in the south-central part of the state. What sediment doesn't end up in Lake Francis Case forms small deltas on the Missouri River.
The Missouri River, also known as the Big Muddy.
The Missouri River, known as the Big Muddy, starts near Three Forks, Montana, and runs its 2,341-mile course through North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, and the St. Louis, Missouri. The longest river in the U.S. gets its nickname due to the massive loads of sediment and silt regularly transported in its current. The Missouri River is ranked as the 7th most polluted waterway in the United States.
According to the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, in 2007, the amount of pollution dumped in the Missouri River totaled above 11,000 pounds. Also in 2007, Bayer Crop Science released 342 pounds of chemicals into the river. In 2009, Tyson Fresh Meats was fined $2 million for pumping animal waste into the Missouri River.
The Missouri River sandbars serve as a migration stop for many bird species, providing an important component of their migratory flyway. Blue catfish, a particularly prevalent species of fish in the river, are mostly active at night. Unlike silver carp, an invasive species not native to the Missouri River, silver carp can breed plentifully and can grow to be very large. The carp have the potential to destroy entire river ecosystems as they devour smaller species and a few natural predators.
Back in the good old days, the Laramide orogeny event raised rock shelves from the Cretaceous period, thus laying the groundwork for the flow of the Missouri River. Its currents are fueled in majority by snow and ice melt from the Rockies. Like the White River, the amount of sediment can accumulate and cause flooding, damaging property and surrounding plant life.
The White River has a different source and a different appearance because of the Nebraskan badlands that is its source. While the Missouri River is larger, the White River has a more noticeable appearance because of its white highlights.
The Missouri River has more animals such as fish and birds that rely on it for food and shelter, which is the blue catfish and the silver carp.
Thank you for your time, everyone.
Hey guys, I have a question. Well, I'm thinking of it. I was told I could ask questions. I told you that.
Yeah.
So how did the silver carp get in there? It's not supposed to be in there.
Good question.
Can you research that?
Basically, lads, if I recall correctly, lads introduced it to help with like something, I think, with controlling like the population of like some fish or some algae or something, but yeah, I don't recall.
But it backfired. That makes some sense. Thank you guys.
So Catherine has blossomed into a curious and thoughtful learner this year. So she is blooming with curiosity. Part of my joy in life is making Catherine feel like, sorry. It's like my love language to her. She pours her whole heart into every project, often diving in with so much enthusiasm that a creative mess is just a part of the process. That big slime thing from the beginning, that was all Catherine. From researching horse anatomy to experimenting with slime, Catherine's love for discovery has grown in beautiful ways, and her kindness is what really stands out in our classroom. Her passion for horses continues to inspire her interest, and it's been a joy to see her it has been a joy to see her begin to truly enjoy learning and explore the world with wonder. Welcome, Catherine.
My hand hurts so bad on this. Okay. Horse anatomy. Diet, handicap, grass, over 300. They can go about 44 miles per hour maximum. They have a 360 degree view. They are herbivores. They come very unique. Horses' hooves need to be trimmed every 3 months, also depending on the horse. They sleep standing and they can't breathe in the mouth. And I'm not me. That's okay.
I have a question on the bottom, what's that a picture of?
Oh, no.
That bottom part with Catherine.
It's like a big Bertha.
You're done?
At the beginning of the year, Catherine would not get up at all. So she's now getting up and she's having to talk. And Catherine is big on creativity. So here are some little clay creatures that she has created. There is many of them floating around the room. And here she is. You can always find her with paint or glue or Orbeez or something. Samson. Harvesting energy. Samson is a hard-working and focused student who thrives when he's building and experimenting. This year, he has spent time creating machines and exploring how solar panels work, an area that sparked real curiosity and dedication. He also drew the entire United States by hand and did an excellent job researching the state of California. Whether he's in the classroom or the Gaga ball pit, Samson puts in all the effort and keeps growing in both skill and confidence. So we're going to welcome Samson up here.
Hi, my name's Samson. You might have seen me at the Dallas. I'm here to talk about, first I'll talk about what I've created over the second semester. This you've probably seen in the first semester, and I've added motors to improve it. And this is from the second semester. I've learned how to use motors, solar panels. I burned out many batteries learning how to do this. And I'd like to tell you a bit about my school year that I got right here. By Samson. The best school year. Hi, my name is Samson, and I'd like to tell you a bit about my school. On the first day of school, I was a little nervous. Because I'm homeschooled, so I'm not used to schools. First, I want to tell you about Bible. We went through all of Genesis. We watch our Bible and answer questions Becky gives us. And I like Bible because it brings me closer to God. My favorite Bible story in Genesis was Abraham moving to Canaan to make a nation. Next, I would like to talk about World Watch. World Watch tells us about what is happening in the world. The coolest and my favorite story is roosters bothering people so they can't sleep in New York. My favorite part of school is Independence Day. It is when we get creative and learn to use things like electricity and glue guns. My biggest challenge was building a cruise boat, which you probably see right here. I put a lot of thought, work, and motors into it. This school fits me because it is not like public school. I learn about the government and how to operate a city. I can't wait for next year. But for independent work, I don't know what to build yet for next year. And then I'll talk a bit about California. I go through the 1542 to the gold rush. I probably won't read it all, but I'll set it up if you're more interested to see more. California, the state with a population and economy so large that it could be compared to another country. From Spanish to Mexican, to independent to American, home of the gold rush, Yosemite, and so much more. How did this California of today come to be? Historians don't have the exact date, but it is assumed that Native American tribes began inhabiting the land of modern-day California around 10,000 BC. Those early settlers came from Asia, likely across the Bering Straits, and would soon diversify into more than 100 separate tribes, totaling anywhere from roughly 100,000 to 300,000 individuals. These tribes had their own cultures and ways of life and inhabiting the state on their own for thousands of years, until European explorers touched down on California soil. The first non-European to reach this gorgeous coast of California was John Rodriguez Cabrillo in 1542. Cabrillo's expedition had been launched from modern-day Mexico, known there as the Viceroyalty of New Spain. There in San Diego Bay, and the expedition was rather clueless. However, as Cabrillo failed to discover anything that would be worth the trouble for Spain to colonize, he left, and California remained untouched by Europeans. Occasional ships, such as those from the Spanish East Indies traders, would at times touch down on California's coasts, but the idea of colonizing the territory would still remain unconsidered. Even when English explorer Francis Drake blundered his way through Oregon and California, claiming the land for his homeland. No real settlements of any sort was actually set up. Less than 30 years later, in 1602, another Spanish sailor, this one by the name of Sebastian Venciscayo, set off for the coast of California. In the name of New Spain's hopeful expansion, he too found San Diego Bay, as well as Monterey Bay. Yet again, no colony. It was still until decades later that the Spanish finally got around to actually setting up camp in what they were calling now Alta California. This region was to provide the New Spain. This was to be a province of New Spain along Baja California, glowing. Franciscan missionaries would become the first to set up real permanent settlements in the region. 1769 would see the first missions be established. Shit alongside California's first president was located in today's San Diego. More than another dozen missions would spring up in success across Alta California, as more and more Franciscans aim to convert the local indigenous population to Christianity. The general effort to colonize the region, however, was poorly funded and supported, as the Spanish North American tribe in American holdings were slowly pushing the bounds of what the empire can handle. And the Spanish relationship with the natives in Alta California was complicated to say. At the very least, while the missionaries hoped to teach the indigenous people their Spanish culture and beliefs, they also attempted to take advantage of the natives and utilize them for free labor while keeping them organized on small portions of land that had once entirely belonged to the indigenous. In response to this sudden encroachment and missionary conquest, the natives organized several revolts which made already in missionary conquest, the natives organized several revolts which made already the unapproachable land even less appealing to the colonists. Alta California was remote in contrast to other Spanish territories, and the lack of funding left small numbers of friars and soldiers solely in charge of the settlement and missionary establishment. Nevertheless, the Spaniards were the following years saw the accidental survey of San Francisco after the explorers failed to recognize Sebastian Van Ken's description of Monterey Bay and thus sailed past it. Further expeditions did uncover most of the northern California as the missions continued to pop up, but life in Alta California failed to become easier. Shortages of crucial goods, including food, disease, and frequent violence with the natives, led to many close calls of abandoning the new province. Still, the colonists remained and were continuing to fill the maps with missions, and Carmelos, many of which we know as today, like Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, Monterey, Santa Cruz, and it seemed that Spain had at least secured itself a functioning province until the Mexican War of Independence. The 1812 war saw Mexico break free from the Spanish, and Alta California tag along with the neighboring land, and it was now Mexican territory, not Spanish. The mission culture began to shift also to the direction of ranching culture. There was also an uptake in handling and trade things to the new policies of the Mexican government and immigrants from neighboring immigrants rising up to fill the blanks of California's population left behind by the receding number of indigenous. The consequence of the latter fact, however, was the slow collapse of the missions, which failed on their population of convention natives to stay afloat, which remained of the mission soon culturized by the Mexican government. In the 1830s, the Alta California settlers were having to share land with a growing number of American immigrants who would soon outnumber their progenies in the region. The following decade, thus, their new Californian strong against the unstoppable preoccupied Mexican government. The summer of 1846 would make this so-called Bear Flag Revolt. This revolt the new famous flag of the newly declared California and Republicans, they demanded ultimate independence. While the revolt broke out on June 14th and found speedy success by mid-June, the Bear Flaggers were informed that the U.S., who had declared war on Mexico 2 months earlier, much to their surprise, had already captured Monterrey and declared it American territory. The rebels now had 2 options: take up arms against another nation to make their newly founded independence, or accept American authority without a fight. Since the uprising of the Bear Flaggers had actually been to make California an American possession, this decision was quite an easy one. With the Treaty of on February 2nd, 1848, the Mexican and American War came to an end, and the California Federation of the United States. 2 years later, California would become the 31st state of the United States of America. But before that, James W. Marshall found gold. The famous California gold rush began at Scudder's Mill, nestled on the American River in Coloma, California, when Marshall discovered gold on January 24, 1848. That was all I wrote for California. I did write a lot of I did write facts and other things. I wrote the flag, their industries, their area, major cities, national parks, rivers. And if you have any questions, I'll be up here and just ask me those. I might have the answer, I might not, so just know that. You probably might see me next year, so I hope you enjoy my presentation.
I told you he works hard. And he's also just kind of hilarious. All over the place. The unit for summarizing sources, we didn't get to that one this year. We're probably not going to. Oliver, planting seeds of invention. Oliver has a curious mind and very He loves taking things apart to see how they work and always finds ways to repurpose what others might overlook. Do not give him something if you want it to stay intact. Don't. Just don't. He has made strong progress in writing this year, and when he focuses, his handwriting is amazing. As the Sigma City property planner, Oliver took charge with enthusiasm, showing off his creativity and strategic thinking. Are you going to come up and read your paper?
This year I learned about Canada and geography and how to make a boat float well and a few ways how to make a boat sink. What I will be talking about is what I learned, how I drew, and in general, what I did. On a field trip to City Hall, I learned about our city government, and when I went to Paris for TPAC, I learned about the state government. In class, we wrote bills about what we wanted to change. We created a city, we are still building the government. Malcolm is the mayor, Henry and Jocelyn are Josie are the city planner, council leaders. It was my job to decide where everybody sits and how much it costs. We earn money doing our work on a job. On another field trip, we went to the park. The school is very good in my opinion. I like how you can say your ideas without being bullied, and there are no people I just don't like. It's nice here, and I want to learn. I want to learn about. I think that is much better than public school. It is shorter, it starts at 9:20 and ends at 2:20. So it is 2 hours less than public school. My favorite subject is independent because you can make anything you want. You don't have to do any schoolwork because you get that done in the morning, and it doesn't feel like school at all. I really like working on building a dam. We researched how a dam works online, and then we started building about it. When I started building it out of styrofoam, it was fun to build with my hands. My favorite project to do so far is work on a boat. It took me very long to build. It has 3 motors, 2 rolls of tape, and a lot of glue. It takes all that to make it waterproof. The main cabin has 2 bunk beds and a TV. Its control center is made out of bottles, and the hull is cardboard covered with tape. It has a water-air system that is just for looks. I hope you enjoy this presentation. I hope you enjoyed my speech. I think this school would fit you because it seems to fit everybody here.
I do take donations of duct tape because we go through an absurd amount. And this is just Oliver taking apart various motors, and he disassembles everything he can get his hands on. So
Yeah, that's
it never drives me crazy.
I'd be crazy.
You're right. Mercedes turn. Mercedes is full of ideas. She's constantly imagining, designing, and reshaping the world around her. For Mercedes, play is not just fun, it's the way she works, thinks, and learns. Whether she's reimagining the purpose of everyday items or lost in the pages of books, her creativity is always in motion. This year, she's shown real growth in her ability to stay focused and committed to her work for longer stretches of time. Her determination to balance imagination with perseverance has been inspiring to see. And Mercedes has just a little project up here which we should. Yeah, let's do it. You want to talk about it? Okay. Let me know. I'll help you get it set up.
So, types of volcanoes and how they work. The first question is, what is a volcano? A volcano is a mountain that can erupt, sending out lava, ash, and gas from deep inside the earth. It happens because of hot melted rock, magma, that rises up from under the ground. When the magma reaches the surface, it's called lava. The three main types of volcanoes. Shield volcanoes, the gentle giants. Example, Mauna Loa, Hawaii. the top and watch it spread, just like lava from a sheer volcano. Cinder cone volcanoes and fireworks. Example, Tarzan, Mexico. Shape, small, steep, and cone-shaped. How they work. When they erupt, they shoot lava and ash high into the air. Eruptions. Short, explosive bursts of lava rocks called cinders. Shape, tall and stratovolcanoes called the Big Boom. Shape, tall and steep with layers of lava and ash built up over time. How they work. These volcanoes have huge explosive eruptions with thick, slow-moving lava. Eruptions. Very dangerous and can blow off the top of the volcano and send ash clouds into the sky. How do volcanoes erupt? 1. Magma. Hot melted rock rises from deep inside the earth. 2. Pressure builds up the magma chamber. 3. The magma erupts through a hole in the volcano's top, called vent. Lava flows out and cools, making new land. So this is the volcano, as you can see. Should be crater, the cone, central vent, magma, the magma chamber, lava, side vent, the sill. Craters, the top of the volcano where the ash, lava, gas, etc. escape. Magma, melted rock inside the earth. Magma chamber, the area on the crust where the magma collects after it moves up from the mantle. Lava. Lava is formed when magma is is exposed to air. Side vent. A side vent branches off and leaves a central vent. Sill is a hardened magma between the rock, the cone, the area that is built up by ash and lava surrounding the central vent. And the central vent rises from the magma chamber, and this is the path for the magma to get to the surface. In my groups, as you can see, I cut into the inside. The crust is all around the earth. And then the mantle, the crust is -25 miles. The mantle is 1,800 miles into the ground. The outer core is 1,400 miles into the earth. And the inner core is 800 miles. If you'd like to look at the rock right here, and part of me is right here. My experiment, if
She's been dying to do this for a while. Next week I hope to do with some different vinegars, but we should put them together. More comes there. It goes. I think it's well, part of it, right? Here's a couple other pictures of Mercedes. This is my favorite. When I talk about how she's always trying to find ways to use things. That's it.
Wait, are those the worms?
Those are the cones.
It's the worms. No, the picture of the worms.
Worms eating each other.
The worms eating each other.
Oh, yeah. She also really loves to draw on the whiteboard.
Oh, and that one up there.
These are all going to be printed for their scrapbooks, and I'll tell you more about that at the end. Here is Isaac. Can you go around and come through? That works. So Isaac is our youngest student in this classroom. He is our littlest learner, but he is bursting with energy, ideas, and imagination. This year he accomplished many big milestones, like tying his shoes and making new friends. Whether he's mastering the playground, inventing creative whacking sticks, or building with simple machines and clay, Isaac approaches everything with excitement and joy. Lately, his curiosity has taken him into the world of chickens. Just one more example of his eagerness to learn and explore. His growth this year has been full of fun, friendship, and fearless creativity. Tell them what that is.
It's in this when it's going to the first day, second day, the other day.
Tell them what you did here. That would be practicing with scissors, right? He's mastered scissors this year, guys. Mastered.
This, it's a chicken drawing, and I was going to make a rainbow, but I made it like this, and there's a soup thing. Super chicken. That was mine. Here's the book.
Yeah, there's your book. You've been working on coloring.
Well, not that much, but
Isaac doesn't really like to sit still, and I really fully encourage
the
that.
black chicken. And then the egg and how to color after the next day. And I didn't have that much time to draw this. It's half. And then the hedge. And this is a girl chicken. Boy chicken. Girl chicken. These are the ones you like the most when they lay eggs.
That's what I can't wait, right?
Yeah, it was.
And then those chickens will lay eggs. What did we do here? Do you remember? Can you tell them about this?
I drawed it and it like.
No, this part. Do you remember what we do there? What do we do at my house with the scale?
Oh, we weighed the chickens and the black one was the heaviest one, or second one is the heaviest.
Yeah. And they've doubled in size and weight, right?
And if anybody wants to see the chickens, they're about like tiny. They're about like this size when they were like it was about like as big as a hand, and then they growed as about that big. And then what is it?
And then This is a picture of Isaac.
Yeah,
What are you doing there
in that picture, oh,
in this one? What were you doing?
oh, they're cheeky funding.
What were you telling them?
Can you get, where is it? Where is that? Where's this?
It's right there. Yeah.
Don't you think that's the same picture almost?
It is the same picture. It's the exact same picture. What were you teaching the chickens there?
That's how they go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, that's when I was painting my thing. And then there's mine. Right up there.
Yeah. We've done a lot of work with simple
I can
machines.
even read my book there.
You want to read it? He's still working on coloring, so for the next, we'll be finishing that.
Mercedes. Where?
Are you done presenting?
Well, Dad. And then there's chicken up there. Look at this. That's one picture. Yes. And you have to try and dance. And there's long pages in this.
All right.
And then this
Handing them the chickens, right? Oh, don't touch this stuff. Go get this project. Okay? You can let everybody hold some chickens when we're done. Just a couple more things to share as we wrap up. I have so many pictures in my head that I was never able to take with my camera, and I get just as wrapped up in this learning as the kids do. So I apologize for the ones I don't have of your student, because I have about 100 more memories for each one that I didn't record. As I look back on this year, one thing that's become really clear to me, I learned more from these students than I could have ever imagined. Each of them brought something special, imagination, persistence, curiosity, and joy, and together we created something far more meaningful than just a school year. We built a place where real growth could happen. The heart of our school are four pillars: faith, character, community, and academics. And this year, I got to watch each one of those come to life in each of these students. We didn't just complete assignments or check off boxes, although there was plenty of that, but we asked big questions. We got our hands dirty. We built things, created, explored, failed, and tried again. One thing we really talk about is there is so much learning that happens in failure, and we need to not be scared to fail. It's just another opportunity to try again. Through project-based hands-on learning, students were able to dive deep into what they were learning and make it their own. It wasn't just about remembering facts, it was about building real understanding and connecting learning to the worlds around them. We practiced patience, we made a lot of mistakes, we grew in kindness, we leaned on each other, and we leaned more heavily on the Lord. And slowly, beautifully, we became our own little community. This first year was not perfect, but it was honest, joyful, and full of purpose. And as these students grew, so did I, and that to me is the greatest success of all. So thank you for trusting Del Rapids Christian Homeschool Academy with your incredible kids, and for the love and support you've poured into them along the way. Watching them grow this year has been like tending a beautiful, messy, and wonderful garden, and every family and friend and supporter who's been able to show up today, you are helping your person bloom. You are helping the community bloom. And I'm just so thankful to get to grow right alongside them. I want to remind everybody in 2 weeks, here's just Gaga Ball, Mercedes never actually plays, she just climbs into the bucket generally. This is when we made baskets to try to float a baby.
A baby rock.
They all failed.
Who got the most weight on that?
And this was April Fool's Day. Yeah, April
A
Fool's Day.
mud pie which tasted like dirt.
Yeah, it was a dirt pie, and then we had
But it was chocolate.
a cake we were told we were gonna have a cake for lunch, but it turned out to be meatloaf.
It looks like there's chocolate.
It was delicious.
I actually enjoyed it a lot.
I did too.
I didn't eat it.
I didn't know about that.
Here we are at the city hall. Oh, and then Mercedes and Isaac discovering that they could transmit sound off wire and cups. That was fun. Just a quick picture I have of Mercedes playing her guitar at the nursing home. And I want to let you all know that 2 more weeks, during the next 2 weeks, each of the students is going to make a portfolio of their learning. Tonight was just a part of the reflection, but they're going to now take everything that they have here and put it into a book with these pictures, and they will be bringing those home. So make sure to look for them. The following weekend after this is the homeschool conference. If anybody's interested in going, let me know. I will be there. And the week after that is our first ever fundraiser. We will be having a book sale here at the school, and the kids have been making some little things and crafts they can sell. And we will be selling, Josie's gonna put magnets on these and sell them, just different things that they can sell. And then the books will be free will donation, and all proceeds will go to the school. And that's it. Thank you guys so much. Help yourself to some treats and ask the kids questions. You may roam freely.
Oh, there's a camera. Sorry, guys.
Do you like the ice? It's
I looked at about kinds of I did not one thing was not sure. At any point on my computer at all. I ended up using about like 40 books.
It's for sure a
I was recording. I can see the logo.
Oh, you've gone to Yeah, the reason I had to take Wait, I had one I used to bigger part.
She's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, we've worked.
Henry Marsh?
Four sounds pretty good.
Good.